I caved, I did. Now, we all know the only way to make money on this YouTube stuff or anything on the internet is to just finally cave in and start an OF. So that's what I did. Now, I'm not one of those, you weirdos. It's called Only Freaks. It's a membership program. You should really go check that out. There's gonna be perks and a bunch of other stuff. I'm gonna be posting way more on there, probably like 3-minute to 5-minute intervals on every Monday. So you'll get Monday, and then the regular YouTube will be Thursday or Friday or Saturday, whenever I can. I work literally like 14, 15 hours a day. I'm trying to cut down on that as much as I can, hence why I'm doing memberships and merch. Now, on to merch. We got a bunch of new shirts out there. If you went and checked it out when I announced it previously, you should go check it out again, because there's a bunch more shirts. We finally fine-tuned in everything. I just wanted to make sure the shirts were good. We were moving shops. You'll learn about that here soon. We got a bunch of stuff. Believe me, I spend every single ounce of money on these projects. Every single ounce of money that I make literally goes back into these things, because this is fun for me. I love doing this, and I want to meet you all, and I want to give you guys something that you guys actually want. If you go and subscribe to the membership program, I swear to you that I will work my absolute off to make sure that that is the most worth it membership program you have. I'm trying to work out a code, a discount code that actually gives memberships 10% off of my merchandise when you go to the Speed Freaks store. The store is speedfreaks1.com if you want to go check it out. There's a bunch of merch up there. I'm going to be posting a bunch more stuff. There's going to be like posters and, you know, a bunch of cool stuff up there. It'll really help out the channel because, like I said, I'm working 14, 15 hours a day and just trying to pay for this stuff to keep me afloat. So if you go help me out, I'd really appreciate it. And every single money that you give me goes right back into the channel. I'm gonna shut up now and let you guys get back to the video. You really wanna stick to the end for this one. How's it going? I know it's been a while. I went to go get some milk, but I finally came back and we're in a brand new shop and we got a brand new build. We got 100 days until we have to get this thing running and ripping for Matt's off-road recovery games, and I am absolutely stoked. Let's get into it, because the first thing we gotta do is basically cut off all these fenders. The first thing I know you're wondering is why are you cutting off these fenders? It gives it its look. Well, the only reason is because the suspension down here, the tires over there, and kind of the tires up here. Now, I want to keep this thing as stock as possible, just in case I need to get parts for it, just in case I need to do anything if it breaks, because we're going to be ripping this thing hard, and I don't really want to make parts for it every 5 seconds if something breaks. So instead of lengthening the frame, making everything fit like really compactly, all we're gonna do is just top the fenders off. It'll make everything completely nice and smooth. The rear tires will fit. We're gonna paint it. I'm thinking a nice red color just so it has that hot rod red. So I'm gonna get started on cutting these things off, and then we can get started on everything else. How are we gonna mount this body? So I'm gonna build a little fake front bumper. It's just gonna be a flat piece of steel with some tubes going through it, and it's gonna mount 4 bolts right here. That's also gonna keep the impact centered if I hit anything, rather than going from one side to the other, which could obviously ruin the suspension. But another thing, this guy had these little straps, and there's 2 bolts right here. I'm gonna use a piece of flat bar that comes right out to here, and then I'm just gonna mount it up so that we can test the suspension and make sure everything is good, and then everything is where it's set to be. Because as you can see, I've chopped this off, but I'm pretty sure this thing has a little bit more travel than that, so I might have to cut a little bit more. And up here, I definitely need to clean this cut up, but we're getting there, and now we just need to grab some metal, build a front bumper, and build a rear bracket. Luckily, I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to things, and I got these 2 pieces that should work out perfectly, and this piece is gonna fit right in here. Got a little bender that I need to do for the flat bar, get it all cut to size, and then the front should be mounted up. Now that we've got everything all cleaned off and a good solid base, we're just gonna take a tape measure, measure this up, and get it cut off. All we need to do is just go grab our flat bar bender, put it on my press, bend the piece up to the perfect contour of this body, and then we'll get to everything else. Now that we know that this piece fits perfectly right here, all we need to do now is just grab our tubes, notch them out, and weld them up. All we're doing out here is measuring the frame to the body so that I can get an exact measurement minus 1/4 of an inch because that's how thick it is, and then we'll get to welding. So 3.5 inches. So now that we got our 3 pieces done, all I'm gonna do is take them in the car, mock them up, measure out where these points need to be, and then we can get welding this thing on. My favorite time, get on the ground. Ow, I just hit my head on the tire. All right, so now that we're down here, we're just gonna grab this clamp these up, drill a couple holes, put some bolts in here so that that'll hold that while I'm trying to tack weld this in. Then we'll take it out and get to welding. So using my pad pending double clamping method, we actually got these things pretty well lined up. I'm just gonna tack weld them in here. We'll drill a couple holes, make sure the body is perfectly aligned where we need to be, then bolt it in. Obviously, after we clean the surface of this, obviously. You know what's funny is it's not even on the jack stands in the rear anymore. It's actually just all being held up by the front, which isn't good, but we're also gonna be doing, you know, these side mounts just as a mock-up. Actually, if I get this thing mocked up and the air filter put in here, all we gotta do is drain the tank because there's water in here for some weird reason. The gas station sucks. Mount the bars back on here and we could probably take this thing for a little test rip. I'm saying probably, it's probably not gonna happen because, you know, stuff and things, crap happens. So now that the front piece is on there, this thing actually travels with the body. All we need to do now is just take these little back straps off back here and then build our own little brackets, and the back piece will be mounted up. We can start on everything else. I'm gonna grab this piece of metal right here, clean it up a little bit. I don't know if this is gonna be permanent because I'm trying to do like tree bash bars so that it protects the rear tires in like situations where I'm gonna smash into a tree, because I foresee that. But we're gonna get these pieces bent up, bolted up right exactly where the straps were after we clean this piece up, and then it's just draining the tank and we can see if this thing starts. And if it starts, I guarantee you I'm gonna drive it. right, so now that these are all drilled out, we're just gonna bend them up, put them on the quad. I really love the way that press makes almost anything look professionally made. I mean, obviously this makes it look like crap, but we're gonna get these things off the table and onto the quad. So I know what you're thinking. Now there's a little bit of gap between that. You're gonna squish the fiberglass and possibly crack it. No, we're actually gonna put rubber little inserts between it so that it kind of gives it a little bit more cushion. All right, now the body mounts are on. There's this little piece right here. You can see that I had to bend it up and actually bend the tab. So when I was getting it all done, and it was a straight tab that came straight out and up, it was way down here. Now, let me tell you how dumb I am. I measured this piece right here. It was about 1.5 inches, about 2 inches, and I just did a straight bar that went up 2 inches. The only problem to that is I only measured this to be 2 inches tall. I didn't actually measure the length that it takes to get from here and then add 2 inches. I literally cut out the piece and then just added a 2-inch lip to it. So I had to angle it, put it back, but I actually think it looks a lot better because it goes upwards. And we're gonna add big old rails that come over here, big old tree grab. In case I ever hit something, it's not bashing on the tire, it's just gonna swoop and it's just gonna kick me off the side of it. But this is exactly how this thing is gonna stand. This is exactly where it's gonna be. I might stiffen the rear spring just so that when I'm sitting here, it doesn't sag too much because there's gonna be a spare tire carrier, maybe, I don't really know. I know there's gonna be those big old tree bashers and there's gonna be a lot more I need to do, but we're gonna put the steering wheel back on, or these little bars. We're gonna grab this filter right here. I'm gonna cut out this piece so that I can grab it and bring it all the way back here, hook it up, make sure all the things are all nice and neat, and then we're gonna try to get this thing running, maybe do a quick jump with it. Welcome to Speed Freaks Chop Shop. I mean repair shop, we're building stuff here. But we're gonna grab a big old hole saw, cut this piece out, throw it on the air filter, fix the fueling issue because there's a little bit of water in there for some reason. There's water in my gas station, it kind of sucks. But we're gonna get all those things fixed, and then we're gonna take it for a rip. Do a quick little ASMR for you guys. And yes, I know this isn't the right way to get these things off, but it's my way, so on this channel it is the right way. There we go. Not much room for error. Not that, whoa. Going a little faster, buddy. Look at that, perfect air filter spacer. Boom. Now that we got this thing all done, we're just gonna move all this stuff out of the way, get her back where she needs to be. This thing is so much nicer to move than that 1,000-pound lead weight. All right, check me out, check me out. Boom, bam, bada bop, boom, pow. Now, of course, this isn't a permanent solution. It might not even stay down there long enough to me get it out the doors, but it's good enough for now that I can trust it enough to go out there for a test rip. But now it's time to fix the fuel issue. Which all we gotta do for that is take this little tiny hose off, drain everything, and then just put fresh, good fuel in there, and she should be ready to rip. Gonna work, or if it's gonna be full of more water. All right, please just work the first time because I have enough time, but I don't have enough patience to really fix problems with you. I'd rather just build. Gotta love these gas cans, you know? Fuel petcock is on. Tis a little loud. All right, now the only reason that this thing is ever going to be able to go on a test run is thanks to you by Grip Lock Ties. They sponsor me, they give me all these free things. They're a really awesome company. I use them all the time. And the good thing is these are not going to be wasted. These are actually reusable. They have a little clip right here. So I'm going to be able to take all these off, put them back in their case, and reuse them. I thank them every day. They're the only reason I'm going to be able to do this. But that being said, let's get all this stuff moving out of my way. Take it for a test rip. That'd be sick. I wonder how hard that could be. Hey, what's going on, dude? You still got that Stark motor?